Hi. Have you ever wanted to build an intricate defensive structure to protect a fat slob from a job application? No? Well, me neither. Anyways, castlecraft looks like one of those shitty crypto games that require you to buy a coin to do anything. However, it is an intricately designed strategic-based defense simulator. Logically, you need to gather resources for any structure you might want to build. This, due to your time constraints, is unfeasible to do by yourself. With the use of economical zones, you can designate areas to be used as workstations by peasants. And the amount that can work at once scales with the amount of zones placed, with a limit of 5 per zone type, unless increased by building a quarter zone. Most of them can be placed indoors, allowing you to build multi-level buildings to save on space. Keep in mind, however, that they need to physically walk to that resource, and distance as well as height will decrease the manufacturing speed. Now, peasants aren't exactly smart, and will mistake a spiked barricade for a nice summer relaxation spot. Or their life is so miserable that they just want to end their suffering. Either way, keep it out of access, like you're hiding Tide Pods from a night out kid. Or, you could have just used the built-in evacuation zone. Now that you know how to build a base, let's learn what will you be defending that base against. This big, ominous, evil portal is where you need to keep a lookout for. That's where they will be coming from. There's many types of enemies that each have a unique tactic you'll have to utilize. Like bonelings, which explode upon death with blocks to clog up your traps or bridge gaps and scale walls. If that isn't enough, they might try to go underground, like the terraformers, that leave behind a tunnel any skeleton might follow. Or if they ain't doing any of that, they will attempt to smash right through, like bone bomblings, skullflowers, rattling ram, and grave brutes. Yep, these skullflowers are extremely dangerous. They throw blocks of molten rock right onto your forehead. The strategy with them is to kill them before they even reach your walls, cause otherwise you'll have a gaping hole in your wall so big you'll think it's an elephant's ass crack. Now, each different skeleton type can also have a trait that augments its strategy and counter, like wings, stunted wings, or skittering. Self-explanatory and very annoying. Or they might inhibit your defenses like foul gas, which makes your ranged units miss their shots. Otherwise, they'll just kill them like dropping bombs and flying predation. Now, for some reason, every few waves, a random battalion of flying armored skeletons will spawn with insane amounts of health, and without warning will one-shot through all your defenses and kill your king. And then they'll just disappear once you retry the wave. Now, the fun part of the game is that the traps are modular, and what I mean by this is that the traps parts complement each other in different ways depending on what you need the trap to accomplish. For example, a magnet trap. Simple, right? Can be used in combination with simple spike traps for a cheap and efficient anti-basic infantry. Whilst a bomb with a magnet is gonna do way more against siege machines, it's very expensive, so it's not very useful against basic infantry. Or a simple hole near a magnet for enemies with more health than spikes can handle. Yeah, for some reason enemies take a lot of fall damage. There's a bunch of these parts: a fan, bounce pads, arrow blocks, and rocket artillery. So you can make fans with a huge wall of spikes and a deep hole with meat grinders at the bottom, and it will probably be very effective. But if you're tired of constantly having to battle it out with the skeletons that got past your defenses, you can hire your local farmers with sharp pointy sticks to give their lives for the noble cause. You got your basic knights and some archers. They both are really good and really useful. Knights do a great job at dealing with almost every infantry unit in the game, while archers are very useful for defending flying units and weakening the general horde. The units are split into battalions, with there being a limit of 3 normally.
We can't build more platoons unless we build more barracks!
What is cool is that you can order them to follow you around, and have a little cool battle before they even reach your base. On the other hand, if you feel bored, standing around and doing absolutely nothing, feel free to invest in superhuman powers, like cracking open the ground itself to swallow your enemies whole. These are split into sword abilities, bow abilities, and god-given powers. Each of them use mana, as one would expect, and yet again, you need economical zones for this too. The temple zone increases your mana regeneration speed, but it's expensive as shit. Overall, the high gold cost of weapon upgrades and the expensive as shit mana makes them less viable than ordinary traps, which is by design, I think. I believe that developers intended the spells to be a supportive tool to make up for mistakes in your defense. Or they don't understand how OP the launchpad is. Still, if you have the economy, good choice for a mounting. And it's funny to beat people with hammers. The other way you can make yourself useful is by emplacements. Automatically controlled projectile traps, like the big, beefy ballista, which you can take control over to great effect. The cannon is just great against pretty much anything. Flamethrower clears low-flying units and AoE, and the dwarf and raft cannon is just... mwah. I'ma cut off this video right here because I am going to have an actual fucking aneurysm trying to record footage for this game, okay? It's impossible. It's impossible. I keep getting fucking killed by skull throwers killing me from the portal with 2 shots. Or flying units with enough armor so that I can kill them with the maxed out sword.